The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There's a great Hasidic Rebbe, his name was Rabbi Mishlan, and he once went to a certain city for a Shabbos, and he stayed by a certain Gevir. The Gevir's name was Reb Shimon, and at this house, Reb Shimon served him Challah, Friday night, and as Reb Meir was eating this challah, he said, I have to find out what the source of this challah is. There's something very, very special about this challah. I never had challah like this. I sense the taste of Gan Eden in this challah. So the Reb Shimon says proudly, my wife baked this challah. Okay, then I have to speak to your wife. Something about this, there's a story behind this challah. Okay? So he calls his wife in, says, you made this challah? She says, honestly, no. Today, normally I make the challah. This Erev Shabbos, as I was about to make the challah, there was a knock on the door, and there was a Yisaima, an orphan girl who needed some extra money, and she asked if she could help around the kitchen this Erev Shabbos to make a few extra dollars for, to help out at home. Her mother died recently, and a big sorrow in the family, and she needed, so I had Rahmanas on her, so I invited her into the kitchen. I said, you know what, you can knead out the challah. So Rabbi Meir says, I want to speak to this girl. Is she still around? She says, yeah, she's around. She didn't go home yet. She's still here. So he brought her in, and he said, tell me the story about this challah. What happened here? So she said that as she was kneading out the challah, she was remembering her mother. And her mother always, helped out, and she used to work in the matzah bakery. And she would be at her side while she was kneading out the dough in the matzah bakery. And the minhag in the matzah bakery was that as they would knead the dough on Erev Pesach, they would sing Hallel. And so she says, I was crying as I was kneading out the dough of the challah, thinking about my mother kneading out the dough for the matzah. And then in the middle of my tears, I started singing Hallel, like my mother used to sing Hallel as she was kneading out the dough for the matzah. And Rabbi said, okay, now I understand everything. He says, there's so much tsaros in life. This is what he explained to the people. A lot of Hasidim were around. He said, there's so many tsaros in life. A lot of tsaros. We all know there's no shortage of tsaros that we have in every country in the world. Everywhere where there's Yidden, there's plenty of tsaros. And it's very hard, life. Life is very hard for a lot of people. And people are crying. There are people that are so sad throughout the world. But when a person can take tears and transform them into Hallel, transform those tears into a higher level of Shira, of a Shevach to the Rabbi Shalom, that's the Tam of Gan Eden. It says, the taste that I tasted in this challah was the taste of Gan Eden because these were tears that were transformed into Hallel. That's a higher madriga. That's bachei tivke. It's to cry, but not just the Chor Meis HaMikdash when you're having your personal tsaros, but also to take it a step further and to say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I know that I'm going through a tzara, but I want to give shevach to you. I know that whatever is happening right now is for the best. I know that it's going to have a happy ending. I know that there's a reason for everything. And when you're able to take those tears and elevate them like Yaakov Avinu and say Kriya Shema with them, to catapult them to the Rabbeinu Shalom and say, I'm giving you, Rabbeinu Shalom, my tears, and I'm singing Hallel with those tears, that's the highest madrega that a Yid could reach.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org